When we were younger, we thought there'd always be time. Time to travel, time to reconnect, time to finally start that someday thing.
Now we know time isn't unlimited. And the biggest surprise, we don't feel older. We just feel more awake.
So today, we're not taking you anywhere. We're just sharing some thoughts about what this chapter feels like. I'm Judy.
And I'm Kevin. Welcome back to Finding Gina Marie, where we share our lives as full-time travelers and the connections we make along the way. I just celebrated a birthday earlier this week. I turned 63. Judy's 60.
And clinging to it for dear life for another 4 months. And lately we've been talking about age, what it means, what it doesn't, and why we don't feel all that different from 40-year-olds that we sometimes hang around with.
On one hand, we've met 70-something hikers who seemed younger than us. On the other, I've watched people my age say, I'm too old for that, and I've never understood it. We don't feel too old for anything, but we've been surprised at how much our perspective on age has changed in the past couple of years.
So let's just talk about some of that, including what we'd tell our younger selves now if we could. When we were younger, life moved fast. Our days were packed with work, kids, obligations. We weren't thinking about how much time we had left. We were just trying to get through Tuesday. I think even when we were in our late 40s and early 50s, we believed that there'd be enough time. Time to travel, time to reconnect, time to chase the things we kept putting off. I definitely feel like time is chasing us in a way that I didn't feel or recognize when I was younger.
That awareness is what helps us live more fully now. I've mentioned a few times on this channel that my father passed away when he was 60 and I was only 21. So it was really important for me to live longer than he did. I didn't want to follow in his footsteps and retire only to end up passing away weeks later. I never wanted to put my life on hold because of my job. But back then, we had so many responsibilities and so much we wanted to accomplish. And then we blinked and I was coming up on 60. And I felt very conscious of the time.
Have you ever felt that too? Like life just started rushing by? When we decided to sell everything and travel the world full time, 12 months of the year, we gave up stability, predictability, familiar holidays. I missed spending Mother's Day with my birth mom this year, and that was hard for both of us. But for the record, we don't doubt what we're doing is right.
This lifestyle isn't for everyone, but for us, it gives us life. It keeps us curious, connected. It's how we keep growing.
We talk a lot about health versus wealth here. We walk more than we ever have, but we're still figuring out mobility, strength, balance. Some days we get it right, some days not so much.
And stretching and eating better. One of our Gelato members just brought this up in our monthly live stream. Taking care of our health is so important, but it's especially tricky when you're traveling and trying to eat healthy and figuring out how to shop for groceries all over the world, how to exercise when you're in small spaces, and whether or not to use online exercise programs or some other way to stay in shape. None of us have that all figured out, and that's okay.
Yeah, we're not doing everything perfectly, but sometimes it's enough to just make a start or doing one more thing than we did yesterday. And if tomorrow isn't perfect, that's okay. If you've wondered about our Gelato membership and the insider perks, check out our website for more information. We also have our La Familia forum if you want to connect that way. We also think that one of the best things we're doing for our health aren't just physical ones. All this travel planning, figuring out how to get around, meeting new people, trying new foods, it challenges our brains in the best way. It keeps us alert, engaged, a little uncomfortable sometimes, but in a good way.
And that's part of staying young too. Staying open, staying engaged.
When we were younger, we were chasing goals, promotions, paychecks, just trying to raise our kids.
But now that our kids are in their 30s and we've left corporate America, we have very different goals. We ask ourselves questions like, are we living in the moment? Are we grateful for the lifestyle we get to live? Are we noticing the small stuff, like the people around us who are smiling, interacting with one another?
Are we still enjoying this life? Or are we falling into routines again?
And we didn't leave our careers in corporate America just to recreate another kind of job.
And honestly, that surprised us. How often we stop and ask ourselves, how we're living, not just what we're doing.
And that leads us to something we both keep coming back to. There's this quote we both love. People don't stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing dreams.
And that really resonates with us. Curiosity keeps us going. It keeps us young. Maybe not in years, but in spirit. I admit, I still wear makeup. I still color my hair. Partially, I do these things because people love to make snap judgments about age. But I've stopped chasing trends. I don't care if I'm not wearing the latest fashions. I'm not trying to be a fashionista. I don't need cute shoes anymore. Give me a couple of pairs of sneakers or sandals that I can explore with for miles and I'm happy. I've stopped caring what I look like in photos and in front of a camera, as you can tell if you've watched any of our videos.
Yeah, I've stopped coloring my hair too. So it's just all about how we feel, not how we look. We used to want more things, more space, more money. Now we want less. And we definitely don't want to feel like we have to keep up with the Joneses.
That's something that's been such a huge relief.
Especially since the Joneses couldn't live out of a carry-on suitcase.
Right. And we're always looking for ways to carry even less. The fact remains that we're still full-time travelers. We still see big places and have big experiences, and we're so grateful for that. But what surprises us is how much joy we find in the quieter moments. An aperitivo in the sun, a park bench with a good book, church bells ringing in the cool historic city. In fact, we just had to mute our mics a second ago because that was happening here.
And we don't need to be adventure travelers. We don't need to climb mountains or chase adrenaline to be fulfilled. Being fully present, that's enough.
Before we retired, I started feeling invisible, especially at work. Ageism is real. I retired when I was 58 years old. It felt like experience didn't matter anymore, like I was being quietly phased out.
Now, people tell us that we inspire them and want to do what we're doing. And strangely enough, we feel even more seen now, not because of what we've achieved, but because of who we've become. Right outside our building, we met a couple of hikers while we were here in Sardinia.
Having cappuccino.
He mentioned that he was 78 and his wife was 73. We swore they were our age, maybe younger.
Age doesn't always show up on your face. Sometimes it's in your mindset, and sometimes it doesn't show up at all.
And the reverse is true too. What are the things you're doing or not doing that are aging you?
What life are you giving up because you think you're too old? One thing we've learned is how powerful our minds are. If we tell ourselves that we can't or we're too old for this or that, we start to believe it. In fact, Kevin still dances around our Airbnbs like he's 17 years old, and I absolutely love it.
Good, because I have no plans to stop.
If you're still with us, this might be the most important part. If we could go back to our 40s,
We'd say, don't wait until you're ready, because the perfect time never comes.
there is no perfect time. Don't wait until it all makes sense. You don't have to figure it all out first either.
Basically, just start. Even if it's small, even if you're not ready, you can always pivot if it's something that isn't working for you.
I think it's easy to worry about potential regrets or if the cost of making big changes is too high. But several years ago, I came across a quote that I absolutely loved. What if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? I almost had this tattooed on my forearm so I wouldn't forget because it's such a powerful reminder.
But you thought about it and it didn't happen.
It might still. I do feel like we're flying right now, so it's all good.
That's good. So what has aging taught you? What are you learning or letting go of in this season of life?
Whatever season that is, we'd love to hear it. Drop it in the comments or in our La Familia forum. We'll create a topic on this.
And if this conversation has resonated with you, the best compliment you can give is to share this video with your friends and family.
We don't know how long we'll get to do this, to walk with ease, to taste something new, to see far-flung parts of the world. But right now, we're still curious. There is an idea we're taking as our new mantra. Let us know what you think of it. Wander more,
Worry less.
and bring a passport.
And if you want more thoughtful reflections like this one, we got a few links right here. Just pick your next adventure.
Thanks for watching.
Until next time.
Until next time.